The morning sunlight spilled across the courtyard of Crestwood High, picking out the scuff marks on the worn concrete and glinting off the windows that never quite shut all the way. Students streamed through the gates, laughing, pushing, shouting, ordinary noise that masked the quiet dread of those who hated being noticed. Among the crowd walked a girl holding her backpack straps a little too tightly, her eyes drifting down instead of forward. Her name was Lena Rivera. 16, new to town, new to school, and carrying more weight on her shoulders than anyone could guess. Her family had moved after her father passed away unexpectedly. Everything changed overnight, her mother working 2 jobs, her younger brother acting brave but crying in secret, and Lena herself trying to fill the silence with strength she didn't always feel. Crestwood High was supposed to be a fresh start, but the knot in her stomach told her otherwise. As she walked through the courtyard, whispers formed around her like a tightening rope. A new girl. Transfer student. Looks weirdly serious. And then another voice, sharper, tearing through the quiet, hey. Watch where you're going, newbie. The world snapped into focus. Bryn Carter, Crestwood High's reigning queen of cruelty, stepped in front of Lena with that signature smirk, the one teachers thought was confidence, but everyone else knew was venom wrapped in lip gloss. Bryn's group circled around, sensing the potential entertainment. Lena paused, lowering her gaze. Sorry. I didn't mean. You didn't mean? Bryn mocked. Oh no, sweetie. Around here, you mean what we tell you to mean. Her friends laughed. Lena forced a smile, trying to keep things calm. Can I just get to class? Please? Bryn arched a brow. Class? Honey, you haven't gone through orientation. Lena blinked. Orientation? Bryn's grin widened. Yep. Crestwood tradition. You'll love it. Before Lena could step back, 2 of Bryn's friends moved behind her. She froze. They lifted a water hose hidden behind a nearby bush, one the gardening staff always left out after morning watering. Lena's heart skipped. The girls aimed. No, wait, don't, but the icy blast hit her full in the chest, knocking the breath from her lungs. Water flooded her shoes, dripped from her hair, ran down her trembling hands. Students began filming. Some laughed. Others winced but didn't step in. Bryn howled with amusement, welcome to Crestwood, new girl. Lena stood there, shaking, not from the cold, but from something deeper. Not fear. Not shame. Something buried. Something she had promised herself she'd never unleash again after her father died. Control your breathing, stay calm. Do not react. Her father's voice echoed in her memory, the voice of a Taekwondo master who taught her discipline before she learned her first word, but the laughter around her fractured that discipline like glass. A teacher finally ran over, shutting off the hose and shouting at the group. Students scattered. Bryn pretended to be confused. Lena stood alone on the wet concrete, water dripping from her fingers. Are you okay, Lena? The teacher asked. She nodded, but her chest tightened with the kind of pain that no towel could fix. That afternoon, everything changed. Lena was walking home, clothes still damp, when she passed the old community gym, its lights dim, its sign half broken, but familiar in a way that squeezed her heart. Through the dusty window, she saw a man teaching a group of young kids Taekwondo. Their kicks were sloppy, their stances uneven, but their eyes were bright. Lena pushed open the door. The instructor turned, eyebrows raised. Can I help you? Her voice cracked. I used to train. With my dad. Before he passed. The man softened immediately. Come in. You're welcome here anytime. He handed her a spare uniform. It smelled faintly of chalk and memories. She stepped onto the mat that night. Something inside her stirred, something she'd buried deep under grief. She moved through her forms with quiet precision. Her kicks sliced through the air. Her punches echoed with purpose. The kids stared in awe. The instructor watched with a knowing smile. You're not rusty, he said softly. You're hurting. Lena didn't deny it. She breathed deeply, steadying herself. Her father always said, strength isn't for hurting others. It's for protecting those who can't protect themselves. She bowed her head. Maybe it was time she remembered who she was. The next morning, the showdown no one expected. Crestwood High buzzed with whispers. Did you see the video? That new girl was drenched. Bryn totally humiliated her. Lena walked through the courtyard again, but this time, her posture was different. She wasn't looking down. She wasn't shrinking. She moved like someone who knew exactly who she was. Bryn and her group spotted her instantly. Well, the soaked rat returns, Bryn sneered. Want a towel this time? The group laughed. Lena looked at her calmly. I'm not here for trouble. I just want to be left alone. Oh? Bryn stepped closer. But tormenting you is kinda my hobby now. More students gathered, sensing a scene. Bryn shoved Lena's shoulder lightly. You gonna cry again? Lena didn't move. Bryn frowned. She shoved harder. Still nothing. Lena simply looked at her, eyes steady, expression unreadable. Bryn snapped. Hold her. Two girls grabbed Lena's arms. The courtyard fell silent. Lena closed her eyes. She didn't want this. She didn't want a fight. But she remembered the kids at the gym. Her little brother. Her mother working nights. Her father's lessons. When Bryn raised her hand to slap her, Lena moved. It wasn't violent. It wasn't angry. It was precise. A twist. A shift of weight. A single controlled motion. The two girls holding her were suddenly on the ground, harmlessly but firmly restrained. Gasps filled the courtyard. Bryn stumbled back. What was that? Lena's voice was steady. Taekwondo. Black belt. 3 years of competition. 8 years of training. My dad taught me. Bryn's face paled. Lena stepped forward, slow, calm, powerful. I don't want to fight you, Bryn. I never did. But you treated me like I didn't matter. Like hurting people is fun. It's not. And one day, the person you hurt won't stay quiet. Students whispered behind their hands. Lena leaned in just enough for Bryn to hear her next words. You don't have to be this person. Bryn's breath hitched. Something broke in her expression, a crack in the armor she'd worn for years. A tear slipped down her cheek. I don't know how to stop, Bryn whispered. Lena blinked. That wasn't what she expected. The courtyard froze as the bully, the girl who ruled through fear, shook with silent sobs. Her friends stepped back awkwardly, unsure of their role now that the mask had crumbled. Lena exhaled softly. She reached out and offered her hand, not in dominance, not in victory, but in kindness. Then let me show you. Bryn stared at her, confused, trembling, then slowly, shamefully, she took the offered hand. Lena squeezed gently. Everyone can change. If they want to. In that moment, the entire school witnessed something far more powerful than a fight. They saw compassion in the face of cruelty, strength without hatred. A girl who fought not to win, but to heal. Weeks later, Crestwood High was different. Bryn was different. She apologized publicly, to Lena and to others she had hurt. She started joining Lena at the community gym, learning discipline instead of destruction. Students who once feared her now respected her. As for Lena, she finally felt like she belonged, not because she defeated a bully, but because she helped someone rebuild themselves. Her father would have been proud. On the last day of the term, as she walked out of school with Bryn chatting beside her, a group of kids approached Lena. One said shyly, "Is it true you're making a YouTube channel about kindness and strength?" We want to subscribe." Lena smiled. "I am. And thank you. I'd love that." She looked into the imaginary camera of her future and felt hope settle into her bones. If you believe in second chances, in becoming stronger, in choosing kindness even when it's hard, don't forget to subscribe. And with that, the girl who once walked into Crestwood soaked, shaken, and alone walked out changed, surrounded, and stronger than ever.